We drilled below those old workings, which only go down 270 meters, not deep at all. And we know that the mineralization continues below that. And in this part of the world, these types of deposits can easily go for 1,000 meters or more. So, that's where we feel there's tremendous depth potential, as well as for potential to discover new veins elsewhere on the property as well.
Hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Bob Archer, who is President, CEO, and Director of Newrange Gold Corp. Newrange are focused on district-scale exploration for precious metals in the popular mining jurisdictions of Nevada and Ontario. Bob, great to see you today. Big news out for the company. You've just announced the 100% acquisition of the past-producing Argosy Gold Mine in the Red Lakes district of Ontario in Canada. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about details of the deal.
Well, essentially, we purchased 100% of the mine property from Great Panther Mining, which was the company that I was the co-founder of and CEO up until 2017. And the details of the deal basically are that we purchased a subsidiary of Great Panther called CanGold, which held the Argosy mine. So it was just a share purchase deal. So we paid $100,000 in cash. $650,000 in shares of Newrange, and 1 year or on the 1 year anniversary, we'll pay another $250,000 worth of shares to Great Panther as well. And one of the significant things there is that I was actually CEO of CanGold prior to forming Great Panther. And then, when Great Panther acquired CanGold in 2015 to access the Mexican projects, Argosy sort of went along with that deal. But because Great Panther was focused on silver production in Mexico at the time, Argosy became basically an orphan project, a non-core asset for Great Panther. So, by us taking it on now, it's a win-win for both companies. And because I was CEO of CanGold previously, I actually oversaw the work on the project back in 2002 to 2004, which is the most recent drilling, on the property. And that's why, I like the project. I've known it for a long time, and, I think it's got great potential. So it's an exciting deal, and we're looking forward to drilling it this winter.
Absolutely. So you know it in detail already. Just to go back to the sort of history of the mine, past producing mine, when it was open and producing, what sort of numbers was it generating?
Well, it was producing from 1931 until 1952, with most of the production coming in the last few years of that time frame. And they produced a total of 101,000 ounces of gold at that time at a grade of 12.7 grams. So it was quite a high grade. But at that time, the gold price was around $35 an ounce, and even back then, it was tough to make a go of it on a remote fly-in operation. So it would have been fairly high cost in the day, and so that was why they stopped. The best grades, best production they had was at the lower levels of the mine, and yet they just stopped mining there. And now, through the work that we did with CanGold in the early 2000s, we drilled below those old workings, which only go down 270 meters, not deep at all. And we know that the mineralization continues below that. And in this part of the world, these types of deposits can easily go for 1,000 meters or more. So, that's where we feel there's tremendous depth potential, as well as for potential to discover new veins elsewhere on the property as well.
And I understand when it was in production, only 4 veins were exploited. But since this additional drilling, since the mine has been closed, additional veins have been discovered. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are 12 veins that have been named, I guess, in the sense of, there's more than one intercept, I guess, and trying to model it. But right now we're going through all the old data, all the old drill logs, and constructing a three-dimensional model. And in doing that, we're discovering that there are additional veins or vein zones that were never even given a name. They're just sort of shown as a new vein question mark, or something like that in the old records. And so we're actually starting to continue the naming, the numbering system. So we're up to 14 currently and counting. So there are lots of veins that were never mined previously.
So what are the next steps for the project? Obviously, you're going through a lot of data at the moment, but when do you hope to get sort of some drills in there?
Well, we will be drilling our North Birch project starting in January, and North Birch is immediately next door to Argosy. In fact, the two property boundaries are only about 500 meters apart, and so when we start drilling at North Birch, that'll take maybe a month or so, and then we'll just move the drill right over to Argosy and just continue drilling. So we should be drilling Argosy by sometime, I would say, late February, something like that, and that'll be roughly a month on that one too.
I mean, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the sort of location of the projects in this the Birch-Uchi belt in Ontario? What else is in the region, and why do you see this belt as sort of significant?
Well, the Birch-Uchi greenstone belt is the next greenstone belt in a chain, if you like. It's the next one east of Red Lake. And the Red Lake belt is much better known. It's produced over 30 million ounces and has reasonably good access compared to Birch-Uchi, which hasn't really had a lot of access in the past. And the roads are only now being pushed up into the area of our project. So currently it's still fly-in access for us. And it's because of that lack of access that the belt really hasn't seen as much exploration. But it's a much bigger belt than Red Lake, similar geology. And the next greenstone belt to the east is Pickle Lake, and that has seen some past production there as well. And again, there are roads going into parts of that belt. So in this part of the world, a lot of it has to do with access. And now that Birch-Uchi is opening up, First Mining Gold is advancing the Springpole deposit, which lies only 10 kilometers away from Argosy. And there is an all-weather road that goes to within, I think it's about 10 kilometers of Springpole, and then they'll have their own road coming off of that. And so we'll slowly get road access into the Argosy and North Birch areas. And Springpole is it's about a 5 million ounce deposit, and they have a PEA on it now, and I would say moving it forward towards production. And so that's going to really improve the infrastructure a lot for our area, and that in itself just increases the value of the projects, and increases our ability to work on the projects more efficiently.
And obviously, I mean, winter is coming, but for those people who don't know, winter is a good time in Northern Ontario, yeah, to be drilling.
It really is. There are a tremendous amount of lakes and streams and rivers in that part of the world and that part of the country, and those areas that aren't completely covered by water can often be very swampy as well, and it can be often very difficult to get around in the summer months, and especially without any roads. And so, the winter time, everything is completely frozen. The lakes are frozen over. You have a good cover of snow, and for bigger projects, you can build winter roads. And other than that, we use snow machines, snowmobiles to get around. So access is actually a lot easier during the winter. So we just have to dress warmly, and it's something we get accustomed to.
Absolutely. Previous people who've seen previous sort of presentations from the company will know that you've been focused for a while now in Nevada at your Pamlico project. Obviously, there's big news about the new acquisition, slightly taking the limelight, but mustn't forget that other project. What's happening at Pamlico at the moment?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We certainly haven't forgotten about Pamlico, and in fact, it's been a very interesting year in that for the last several years we were very focused on the historic mines, in the Pamlico mines themselves, and we've drilled, I guess, 125 holes into that area over the last few years. And what we've discovered this year is that to the east and south of that gold zone, there are some areas of pretty strong copper mineralization, and we're starting to see signs of possible porphyry copper or skarn type mineralization as well. And so, we expanded our geophysical survey earlier in the year, picked up some really good sized anomalies, sometimes up to 3 kilometers across. And so we've sort of taken a little, we doubled the size, more than double the size of the property to about 5,700 hectares. And so we've kind of taken a little bit of a step back in terms of evaluating all of that, because it's never really been explored at all. And so we've gone back to doing some larger scale mapping, sampling, and grooming some of these other areas for the next time, for the next drilling program, which should come probably, I'd say, around Q2 of next year. And once we start to wrap things up in Ontario, and we'll just shift our focus back south again. But tremendous opportunity there. Great potential for porphyry copper, which in itself could be a company maker, if that's the case.
And in terms of your sort of funding for all the exploration that's going to be coming up, how are things looking on that front?
Well, back in the spring, we raised some flow through for the North Birch project, and because of the wildfires in northwestern Ontario, we were never able to kick off that drilling program, and actually had to evacuate our crew, out of the camp because of the fires, and so we just postponed everything until the winter. So we still have the flow through funds for the North Birch project. We will be looking at raising some flow through for Argosy, and because that's that was never in the works at the time we did the last financing, of course, and then in due course, we'll raise some more money for Pamlico as well.
Excellent. So in the next few coming months, people should be looking out for, I guess, activity at North Birch, and then looking at Argosy and then Pamlico in that order, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. As I say, we are still doing some work down at Pamlico, and so if we do have some results coming out through the mapping and sampling and so on, then we'll obviously put that out as well. But yeah, the big news, I guess, will come from the drilling, which starts up in January.
Excellent. Well, best of luck for that, and thank you very much for joining us today for this update on the company.
Okay, thanks very much, Leo. Good to see you again.
Thanks.